This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.
The Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, Muhammad Auwal Jatau, has denied reports claiming that he slapped Yusuf Tuggar, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, during an event in the state. The clarification came up following reports of an altercation at the event and raises the question of how misinformation and disinformation are used, particularly during times of political tension. Joining the conversation now is Habib Adisa, the head of programs at Fact Check Africa. Mr. Adisa, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So let's begin with your assessment of the potential damage that follows misinformation and disinformation in periods such as this.
All right. So good morning and good morning to our listeners. So for me, I would like to start with that. Misinformation is one of the big problems that has come with elections, and not just elections in this time now, with many other sectors of the country. And it has become a very big harm to during election, post-election, and pre-election. And one of those things I can say is that misinformation is spreading more, and it is being used as a tool to deceive both politicians and even those that are the voters. So in this sense, what people are really doing is that most of these things are done with an agenda to deceive the voters, to scare them, and to put to let the voters not have trust in the electoral commission. So this is a very big problem.
Mr. Adisa, in this case, right, we had the Bauchi Deputy Governor's Office, his aide came out and countered the information. From your experience, when information like this is countered, how does it have any sort of bearing or impact? Or maybe it's about the extent to which, do you see it countering the initial misinformation effectively?
The problem is that even as a certain organization, which we are both by observation and by research that when a misinformation spreads like that, to counter it, even as an organization, it does not spread like how the false information has spread widely. Because mostly we notice that people, the bad news spread wider than good news. So when you even counter information like that, it takes time, even if it is going to go over the misinformation you are trying to deny or anything. But in most times like this, what I think is that when stuff like that happens, it has a very big potential of causing harms and putting distrust in people, especially the citizens. So it's what we do at that, and what I think the government can do is to nudge ahead in the sense that, for example, in our own organization, before we look at issues based on maybe sometimes prediction, we do explainers on something like spending. For example, the government have in Nigeria, for example, the federal government has the National Orientation Agency, which is to put in information of what the government is doing at that point. So, and I think in the states like that, there will be an arm of the body of the government that is in charge of that. So it is how well they are able to relate to their citizens that would at least reduce the extent at which such information can go before they can even do the normal denial or any other aspect that they don't want to. They want to say the truth and put out the right information.
So, Mr. Adisa, what other actors need to be part of adopting effective strategies to manage or counter misinformation in a time, particularly of heightened political tension?
So it's more of it. I'm more of the person that is preventive of issues like this. So we need to actually keep the time in terms of media literacy. in the sense that if the citizens, a good number of the citizens are able to or to navigate their way through information and are able to see the truth out of all the bulk of information they are getting. So, for example, when you see some news, even if you are someone well ahead of time, well ahead of what you're doing, there are a lot of information that when you even see them, even you yourself, you should be able to at least as a citizen to can this be true? What is the source? What is where is it coming from, and why is this person doing this? Most of this misinformation, especially in political times, are well based on an agenda.
Right.
Some of them are not even at this point sometimes not misinformation anymore. They are disinformation, particularly for a purpose. It can be against the candidates, it can be to put distrust in the commission that is holding elections, it can be against the personnel, it can even be against the citizens of that place, just to show a seed of discord of civil violence to attain a certain purpose.
Okay. Mr. Adisa, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time and the thoughts you shared on this discussion. Habib Azisa is head of programs at Fact Check Africa, joining us this morning to discuss the impact of misinformation and disinformation at a time of heightened political tensions. This conversation we've just had follows allegations and news that the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, Muhammad Auwal Jatau, had slapped the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuggar. An aide from the Deputy Governor's office came out very quickly over the weekend to discount this particular news. So this is just bringing you up to speed on the latest developments.
This is Radio Now 95.3 FM. Come for the news, stay for informed conversations.